Coalition troops locked in what's being called an intense battle with enemy fighters in the streets of several cities across Iraq. Forces on the ground say the enemy is well trained and well coordinated. That's U.S. forces talking. But a top military commander is now promising to destroy the anti-coalition fighters. How to win the battles and at the same time win over the people. Joining us from Washington, Sergeant Major Steve Greer. He's a Gulf War veteran and a former Green Beret himself. Sergeant, good to see you.
Hey, Shep. How you doing?
A tough task over there. The fighting has spread. It's spread quite a lot to many cities. Sunni cities, Fallujah, Ramadi, and one other north of Baghdad. Shia cities, Karbala, Baquba, Kut, Kaffa, Nasiriyah, and the list goes on. How do you pick them off one by one here and not make everybody so mad that there's trouble later?
Well, I tell you, that's the difference between launching a specific military operation to target these radical Shiites and then also at the same time trying to win the hearts and minds. And we've got to understand here that this is a very small portion of the overall population in Iraq that we're fighting against. These are the people who are trying to drive a wedge between our objectives in Iraq and what the future of Iraq is going to be.
It's very easy to, in the fear and excitement, if that's the right word, of the last few days, to look around the country, the dots on the map where our soldiers are being killed, where enemy forces who are hard to define are rising up, and say, man, things are going poorly. But is it possible that what's happening here is that this is the last stand, that one by one these resistors, as individuals now united, will be taken out and then there's free sailing, or is that too simple?
No, Shep, we shouldn't underestimate these uprisings. It certainly isn't free sailing. It won't be free sailing come July 1st after we've turned over the political power to Iraq, and certainly won't be so with the security situation. Every one of these uprisings has got to be dealt with, and it's got to be dealt with in a manner that doesn't drive a wedge and doesn't alienate the rest of the population in Iraq. That's the tough point. You want to use the minimum amount of force necessary to quell the uprising and to reduce the threat to our soldiers and to our Iraqi population, but you've got to be very careful in the way you do that.
The other night, I guess it was last night, their time, they attacked a compound and they basically ambushed them with small arms fire and rocket-propelled grenades and mortars and the rest, and they murdered sitting ducks in some cases. Is it your sense that we were ill-prepared for that? And is there a way to be better prepared for attacks of that nature?
No, Chef, we weren't ill-prepared for that. Certainly they took us by surprise in our Ramadi. There's no question about that. They attacked the headquarters element. And let's understand something. This was a deliberate attack on this headquarters. This wasn't an ambush. There's a big difference there. And the other thing we've got to understand is that it takes a very small force in a deliberate attack such as this. When you're using small arms and machine guns and RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, you can do a lot of damage with these smaller munitions. It doesn't take air power to do so much damage. And the fact that we lost 12 great Marines, we shouldn't be surprised about that. Unfortunately, the two-way range of combat often deals us bad cards every once in a while.
I hear that. Sergeant Major Steve Greer, good to see you again.
Hey, Shep, take care.
All right. The transfer of power.